kinds of it are done programmatically, there's still a trader sitting in front of a screen and says, I'm going to trade this many shares. So they have that as well. But those applications perform a business function, like execute a trade. Mm-hmm. You then have, lower than that, operating systems that run AIX or ZOS in the mainframe, and they make sure that all of the hardware runs well.
Okay.
Middleware is the layer that's in between. It makes what the application wants to accomplish for the business work when it talks to the computers that run underneath it.
Okay.
So think of it as 3 layers. Operating systems and networks are keeping the computers running. Up at the top, you've got your business applications, and those two need to talk to each other. Think of it as mediation.
Okay. Very
so
good.
To bring those 2 layers together and make it work effectively, that's what middleware is.
Ready for another yogi?
Yep.
You bet.
It's the cream between the Oreo cookies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know that's the best part.
That's right. What's everybody doing? They get an Oreo.
Of course.
Take off the chocolate, take off the vanilla, and just eat the cream, right?
Now we may be prejudiced at Nastel, but we think middleware is the most important.
Love it.
It's the cream in the Oreo, as you say.
So how has the relationship with IBM helped Nastel, or how has Nastel helped IBM?
Well, it's happened in a number of ways. First of all, credibility. To be an IBM partner is a badge of distinction. Not everybody is an IBM partner.
Not everybody has that opportunity either.
That's right. It's not like you can just send in a coupon.
It's got to be very powerful. It's got to be very powerful. Hey, I want to be a partner.
Yeah, right. And we've been partners for years. We participate in the Impact shows. We have a solution booth C2, on the solution floor. We also have participated in joint marketing with IBM. We even did development together. IBM has an innovation center.
Yes.
And we worked with them to develop our support for CIC's Transaction Server 4.1.
Wow.
So it's been great. And when in our software, we've made sure that it's compatible with IBM's products. Mm-hmm. So we're certified, ready for Tivoli, ready for SOA. And that way, we assume when we go in, our customers have IBM products and that we can smoothly interoperate with those.
What did you introduce here at this show?
Glad you asked. We introduced a new product at the show that's called Autopilot On Demand for WebSphere MQ. Now, Autopilot is the family name of our solution. Now, this is very exciting because this is a product that lets the middleware team in most companies enable other users in the corporation to have access to WebSphere MQ data. Now, normally, that's not an easy thing to do. Folks in the line of business, architects, all these other groups, they want this data. It's important because it's, as you say, it's the cream in the Oreo, and they need it. However, the middleware team usually is the one who controls it. So it's a manual, tedious process. We're getting rid of that. Autopilot On Demand for WebSphere MQ allows the middleware team to securely delegate views out. In the cloud terminology, they call this self-service.
Okay.
Now, this makes a very interesting thing happen. It's very important here. It's essential in private and virtual private clouds to bring WebSphere MQ in because this is what lets these large applications function correctly. And it also is the gateway to IBM's mainframe.
Now, private cloud is a cloud that resides inside the company walls, right?
Right. Virtual private cloud is something that emulates that, but it might be within a public cloud environment. But as far as you know...
Which allows you accessibility if you're sitting here in Las Vegas to get back to Melville, New York.
Absolutely. Okay. But it provides all the security of a private cloud. So our new offering here lets products like middleware messaging solutions like WebSphere MQ, it enables them for the cloud. It has zero installation. There's no agents to install. It's a web-based user interface. And it comes as a virtual appliance. So there's no installation. You just turn it on, and now suddenly, using the cloud, IBM's legacy products can be accessed by different types of users.
Who made the mistake and called everything in the cloud?
It's a very nebulous thought, but my reasoning's a little cloudy on that one.
Yeah.
Every bit of technology comes around and goes around again. One of the things that's very important to remember with cloud is it's not so much as a technology revolution, it's a business change. Because the costing models prior to the cloud were all focused on, well, what does it cost for the infrastructure, the building, the people's salaries? The cloud model is different. The cloud model is pay as you go. And what does it cost to do that transaction?
That's where I see the world going. You just hit it on the head.
And that's what cloud is. You read all kinds of articles that describe all kinds of things, but, well, for example, in the solution I mentioned, Autopilot on Demand for WebSphere this lets different users have access to this. And now they can be charged based on what they did, not what it costs to keep MQ running, what it costs to keep a mainframe or distributed service running.
And it might almost wind up being like Sharon and I were talking about it yesterday. It might be something where you might, have a subscription for a monthly fee, where you can have, and you basically will start to be able to modulate a lot of applications and a lot of things you want to do without actually buying that piece of software or licensing that piece of software, rather, and not being able to operate efficiently. Because this way here, if you want to go on, you want to use it, there's your fee. You want to use it, there's your fee. There's your fee.
Right. And you bring up a good point there, too. Now, what's interesting...
It's got to be more or less expensive in the long run.
Well, yes, because as soon as you don't need it, you stop paying for it.
You stop paying for it immediately. Right? Yeah, of course.
So
like getting out of the cab. Okay, cab, you can go now. I paid my bill.
Now there's something interesting, and there's always something hidden under that you don't always think of. So now that a customer can do that, and don't think necessarily of you or I and a small application. Think of a large institution in a private cloud who now needs to process another 100,000 transactions that day. So they can grow. But what often is forgotten is, what about the solution that's monitoring their performance and providing the visibility? Does it grow just as that application does? So one of the things we've built into our Autopilot solution is the concept of elastic APM, application performance monitoring. So our monitoring solution can transparently grow to handle monitoring the larger applications as they grow to take advantage of the cloud, and then shrink down. Think of it as happening in accordance.
So a lot of the engineering and a lot of the software technology is built into it, so it doesn't require to have the old teams of the coders sitting there. Yeah, man. It's of course, it's a win-win all the way around.
Right. We look at this as being elastic because what we're monitoring is elastic. So what applies to the application has to apply to the monitoring solution. And it can't add additional cost. And that's why I brought up that concept of self-service before. Because that's the key to the cloud. Let's get everybody enabled so they can do it themselves.
Right.
So that way we don't add more cost to deliver more value.
Isn't it a shame when you really sit back and think about it? I mean, we're blessed because we're here.
Right.
And we're understanding and we're learning from people like Charles.
Right.
Charlie.
Right? Charlie works, but Charles works too.
I like Charlie better.
Yeah, me too.
You're more of a Charlie than a Charles.
I think so.
Yeah. You got a Charlie face for the radio. But Sharon, you know what? How many people miss out? Not that they might not use it.
Right.
Like, we'll never have the reason to use his app. Not as of today.
Not directly.
Not directly. But guess what? At least we know about it now.
Right.
And we say, wow, that's the middle layer. That's what's making this happen. It's here. It's the application.
Right.
The operating system. It's them keeping control of what's sitting on top of it and keeping those two people in balance all the time.
Right.
What you don't know is it
actually
is impacting you.
I'm sure it is. When you tell me to some of the companies, I'm sure.
Yeah, we have very, very large, some of the world's largest customers around. One of them is Citicorp. And we're monitoring middleware, the cream of the Oreo, in 110 countries.
Oh, my.
So you may not see it, feel it, taste it, or touch it, but it's involved with you.
And that's becoming more and more, Charlie, every day. A lot of people don't realize. We've talked to people here where they study and analyze the convenience of using websites. What does the consumer want? What does the IT people want? What does the industry want? What do they want to do with their website? What does Bank of America want to do to make your banking experience a much more enjoyable experience? Not only secure. Everybody says, go give me the security, to hell with everything else. No. Because if you can go there and transfer money instantly, if you can go there and check on a check instantly, and have the confidence, exactly what Nastel is saying to me today, is on the bottom, John, here's the platform. On the top, it's your action that's going to happen. But in the middle, we're there to make sure that top guy and the bottom guy play nice together. It's one big sand pile, and let's all play nicely.
You got it.
And I love it. I love it. I didn't know. I learned that today.
Well, good.
And I really appreciate it.
I'm happy. I tried to keep it as straightforward as I could.
You did. You did a great job.
And it's important.
Okay, you can go now.
You know, well, before I make my hasty retreat, there